Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
Old School with DP and J.
Everybody's going to focus on his intensities and antics. I think he would be just fine because Billy Donovan is doing well, right? And he's intense as all get out. But how do you think he would transition to the NBA as a coach? And then also, what does this tell you about the Lakers?
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I am a huge guy.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's summertime. Happy Monday. Here on the Happy Hour, I am Rico, joined by the one, the only, the illustrious Duke shooting coach in his mind, the best youth basketball coach you could ever ask for.
Yeah, take that, Jay. No,
Austin Orman.
Rico!
How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing amazing.
How was your weekend?
It was great. I spent all the time outside with the kiddos.
Nice.
Went for a walk around the block. Ellie rode her bike. KJ was just running, which KJ ran for like a block and a half with his tiny little legs, but it was amazing. And spent like all of our time outside, got the splash pad out, and it was fantastic. How was your weekend?
It was good. Had a beach day, a lake day at Holmes Lake.
Oh,
your boy figured out he is officially washed.
oh no.
Just sore, basically, from neck down.
Oh, no.
But that's okay. Played all right on beach volleyball. First time I played in a long time. Not bad. I mean, John Cook wouldn't love my serve receive, but I think relative to my team level, it was adequate.
Do you think he could fix that?
John Cook could fix all of my problems if he cared enough, or if I,
All of your
was
beach
worth
volleyball?
enough to, all my beach volleyball problems.
If you paid enough, probably.
Yeah. If I
volunteered
volunteered to like clean his stables, maybe that would do the trick.
How much would it cost to get a lesson from John Cook?
A single lesson?
A lesson.
I mean, I feel like you could get a lesson from John Cook at a post-game press conference for the price of one media credential. But one actual like hour-long training session, probably a lot.
Like if I could get Coach Cook, Coach Reyes, and Coach Hunter to give me like a session, and Coach Larson when she comes back from the Olympics, to give me like an hour session to try and make me good, decent, passable at volleyball. How much do you think that would cost? I feel like that would be too much.
They would
What are their
charge
rates?
you.
What are the rates?
Their rate would be KJ.
They get KJ?
Yes.
I think they want Ellie. She's going to be the next great Husker libero.
I just know traditionally it's the price of the firstborn son.
Yeah.
But how about you pick whichever kid you want to give away?
I don't want to give either one of my kids away.
For a lesson with John Cook, you would give a kid away.
I wouldn't. For Ellie
He's
Ellie to get lessons.
You would give KJ away for Ellie to get lessons?
It'd be tempting. They'd give KJ back. He's a wild man. They wouldn't want him. They wouldn't want to keep him. It's okay. Welcome into the happy hour. I don't know where we got off on that tangent. Welcome to the happy hour on a beautiful Monday here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com, downtown, 11th and O Street, 1040 O Street. Come on down, get yourself a nice cold beverage from the mill, coffee and tea. Get yourself a nice cake from Beatrice Bakery in the fridges down here. Come visit us. Say wave to us in the windows if you're driving by on O Street. Stop in, give you a nice crisp high five, all that fun stuff. Happy hour sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting. We thank them for everything that they do. But I kind of want to jump right into this because this is not something that I saw happening, but I'm sure that many other people, such as Jake Bakoven, had faith in this happening. The Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals, not really tested so far as they go up 2-0 on the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic not happy with himself?
No, I mean, you miss, 4 free throws? I think Luka alone had 8 turnovers in a game. That's not a way to get it done. In a game they lose by 7, they miss 8 free throws, which, it's not just that simple all the time. But I would say Boston has had some game pressure put on it, but Boston has still been in control of the series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have a 28 point lead cut down to 8 points. There's some real game pressure there, right? I mean, Dallas did some good things defensively, started hitting some shots in that run, but Boston reasserted control. Then game 2, Boston just kind of keeps Dallas at arm's length. Dallas gets it back under 10 or back to 10, and then turnover. Boston's back on the run. So I'm not necessarily shocked that this is the way things are going. I kind of thought Kyrie would be better.
Yeah. It goes back to Dallas. Maybe that'll change things.
It does. It certainly can't hurt anything for Dallas. What I said with Strick in our little overview of the series, our preview, was that I was picking Boston in probably 5, maybe 6. And even though that, Boston in 5 would sound like a blowout series, you win at 4-1. I said, don't be shocked if the games are close. Obviously, Boston reasserted control in game 1 and won it going away.
Just destroyed.
But what we saw last game, 105-98, I think that was the final, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's more along the lines of what I expect. And let's not pretend like Boston didn't get good looks. I mean, they shot like 10 of 39, 10 of 40 from 3.
The Boston Celtics in these playoffs are, I believe, I saw a statistic last night. That's a hard word to say fast. Statistic last night. I believe they are 6-0 in these playoffs when Jason Tatum shoots under 40%.
Which is bizarre because Luka's been far and away the best player in the series. But Tatum, as much as Jason Kidd might want to say it's Jaylen Brown, Tatum is still the best player on that team. It just looks completely different from what Luka has to do for Dallas.
Yes. He's not. Jason Tatum doesn't have to shoulder the load and carry the entire team when his other star teammate isn't stepping up to the plate because he has so many other pieces on that Boston Celtics roster that can make plays, that can do things. Kristaps Porzingis being healthy enough to go in this series is just the cherry on top for a Boston team that did not need him back at all. And they would have been fine without him being back. But having him back is just that push that Boston needed to, again, keep Dallas at arm's length. And in the first game, at least, just completely bury them. Luka is going to need a ton more help from his teammates, namely Kyrie Irving, because if those two can get going, it doesn't really matter what the rest of the team does. But
it does.
With how just anemic the rest of the team has been and how not great Kyrie has been, it's just putting that much more on Luka. And he can't, despite how great he is, and he is great, he is not going to be able to drag this team to the finish line against this Boston Celtics team. And regardless of how people want to say, oh, Dirk Nowitzki did it with no all-star teammates, Dirk still had help in that. Jason Terry was amazing in that series.
Sean Marion
was amazing in that series. Like, they had all of these pieces that, yes, they weren't all-stars and they weren't, going to destroy you on a night-by-night basis, but he got help at timely points from his teammates. And right now, nobody on Dallas is helping Luka.
Well, right now, Dirk is still the best player of any of those you mentioned, right?
Yes.
My guess is Luka ends up surpassing Dirk in the long run in terms of greatest players in NBA history. And that's no slight to Dirk, right? Mm-hmm. Like Dirk is still, I think, maybe slightly underrated for what he did on offense and how he was able to change a game occasionally defensively. But I just think Luka's going to be that good. Luka's teammates aren't stepping up, right? And I know it's not fair to call him, like Luka and the Jets or whatever, because PJ Washington played a big part. Gafford and Lively played a big part. Kyrie had been able to shoulder some of that load before. They're just not right now. I saw the stat from whoever wrote the article at The Ringer. Boston's non-Jason Tatum players are outscoring Dallas's non-Luka players by 27 points per game in the first 2 games. Mm-hmm. There's the difference, right? Tatum doesn't have to step up and score 30.
Drew Holiday scored 26, and that's a player that we kind of agreed didn't need to have a great offensive series as long as he was locking things down on the defensive end. But if you're getting 26 from Drew Holiday plus 11 rebounds, Dallas isn't winning that, and that was the closer game.
Yeah, game over. Drew has been awesome.
I love Drew Holiday. I hate that he plays for the Celtics.
And right now, he's my pick for Finals MVP.
Careful now.
I think it's pretty clear it's Drew Holiday through 2 games. Jalen's been good.
What about
Tatum
Kristaps?
nah. Kristaps might be the X factor for Boston, but I don't think he's been, even if he's the most important player for Boston in the series because of all the different avenues that he opens up for them, Drew has been the better player so far.
I mean, I'm just looking at Dallas's stats. I didn't look at the stats right away after the game, so this is my first time actually looking at the stats. Luka with 32 and was -3 in the plus minus. There were 3 players who were positive for Dallas. PJ Washington was +2 with his 17 points in 40 minutes. Maxi Kleber was +1 with 0 points in 16 minutes. He had 2 rebounds, though, so he didn't get blanked. He also had 4 personal fouls.
He didn't have a trillion? Dang.
No, he did not. And then Dante Exum, who was almost forgotten after his Utah Jazz stint, was +4 with 3 points, 1 rebound, and 1 turnover. Oh, and 1 assist.
I'm going to say that's not going to cut it.
That's not going to cut it at all. Again, PJ Washington, the one of the 3 that was positive, was the next highest scorer after Luka's 32 with 17. Kyrie Irving, non-existent practically, 16 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds. To go along with 4 personal fouls was -3, 7 of 18. Like, that's not, if Kyrie Irving is going to be your second best player, which he clearly is, and if he's going to be the guy that needs to shoulder the load after Luka, he is going to need to do more. Now, maybe he's putting too much pressure on him. Now, this is a question I want to ask you. Do you think that Kyrie going back to Boston after everything, I know he's been back before after his Boston stint, but now in the NBA Finals going back to Boston, do you think he might be putting too much pressure on himself to be great?
Right now, I'm just going to chalk it up as Boston is just better. I'm not too worried about Kyrie. I'm going to credit Drew and I'm going to credit Derek White for their work defensively right now. But if Kyrie starts going off in Dallas and it looks the same, right? He's taken a lot of tough shots. He's missed some open ones, spot up threes that Luka's created as well. Even the rhythm step-ins that he was hitting, he's just not anymore. Maybe that's the pressure of being in Boston. Maybe that's something mental with him because of the stage. But he's delivered on the stage and even a bigger stage before.
Yes.
So I'm not worried. I'm not going to say he's putting too much pressure on himself yet, but I want to see a game or 2 in Dallas and see if that opens him up, because maybe then in retrospect, he'll be able to admit, yeah, maybe I was a little bit too tough. Maybe I was trying a little too hard to do something. Maybe I should have, backed off a little bit more. Maybe I got too focused on the outside noise instead of my pregame work or whatever. But I don't know if I'll fully be able to say that for sure until we see, a game or 2 in Dallas this series.
After these first 2 games, you said that you had Boston in 5, right?
I said Boston in 5 for a full dinner from Strick, Boston in 6 for just a nice little snack.
Okay. Do these first 2 change that to us? Does that take away a game from Dallas after these first 2 games, or are you still pretty confident in Dallas at least getting 1?
Yeah, I think Dallas gets 1. Like, Luka has been too good for him not to go get 1, right? Boston's got to figure out how to shoot the basketball again, because that was their biggest issue to me coming into the series was shot variance, is that Dallas takes a lot of corner threes, some of the most in the league. Boston just takes the most threes.
They're just shooting
in the league. That's why I thought Indiana, was going to give them, a full ride of a series, was because Indiana plays that game too. Boston was clearly more talented than the Pacers were. But both teams were willing to lean in and play the math from 3-point range and trust it would, work out for them in the long run. It did for Boston. And, I'm slightly concerned that they haven't shot it as well from 3 at home. Now they go on the road. But at the same time, the flip side of that coin is it's impressive that despite Boston not shooting that well, they found a way to win one game by a large margin and then to kind of choke the life out of Dallas in the other.
Yeah, it's been quite impressive what Boston's been able to do. And like you talk about them being scared, them not being able to shoot the ball very well at home and then going on the road and having to shoot the 3. I mean, they're 27-14 on the road. Dallas is 25-16 at home. So it's going to be a battle of 20+ wins either way for those teams. But look, Boston has just been so impressive to me. And I feel like they still haven't, like Jason Tatum still hasn't had the type, like it's through 2 games, but had the type of series or games that I was expecting him to. I was expecting him to grab the I'm the best player on this team, this is my team mantle, and run with it. Whereas it's he's still leading the team in scoring for these finals, but it seems like it's tough for him. Whereas I thought that he would just grab it and keep going with it. Jaylen Brown is kind of putting himself in a position to, again, I don't think it'll happen, but putting himself in a position to rival Tatum for the "this is my team" argument. Whereas again, and then the rest of the Celtics are just playing such an amazing series so far through 2 games that I find it hard, despite having these next 2 games in Dallas and that Dallas crowd going to be what they are. I find it hard to just say right away that Dallas is going to get one, just because, again, I'm hoping Kyrie and the rest of the Mavericks wake up, but it's looking like the Luka show. The Luka was that LeBron James against Golden State, where he leads in every statistic and still loses.
Since 1947, there have been 9 sweeps in the finals. Okay, so what's that? 53, 24. It's like 75 years, essentially. Yeah. Essentially 75 years, 9 sweeps.
9 of 75.
Yeah. The odds are good that Dallas is going to at least get a game.
But you're telling me there's a chance.
I'm telling you there's a chance. I'm saying that I think we've probably underrated this Boston roster in the context of history, which is weird because, again, you don't have that, no doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer on there. Tatum's going to be really good. Don't know if he's first ballot. Jaylen Brown, is he going to be Hall of Very Good or Hall of Fame? I guess we'll see. Porzingis, no. Al Horford, going to be an underrated guy for a long time, but I'm not
I don't think he
sold on Al Horford.
Drew
Hall of
Holiday
Famer.
should make it.
Drew,
I love him.
Probably not.
Derek White.
If only.
Let's just go through the
Peyton
entire
Pritchard.
Boston side. Oh, Peyton Pritchard's definitely a Hall of Famer.
But no, the Hall of Famers in this series are on Dallas' side.
Yes.
You have one mostly playing like it, but in his first finals appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the other one who's playing like it's his first finals appearance and not doing more to help the cause. So
the guy who I believed was going to be able to lead this team, maybe not in all the statistics, but lead this team emotionally and kind of being that coach on the floor. Maybe he's still doing that, but his play is maybe, not suffering from that, but his play is not backing up that statement.
No, I'm with you. So here are some of the series that have ended in sweeps.
Okay.
The 89 Lakers did not take a game off the Pistons. Magic hurt his hammy.
Mm-hmm.
95 Houston behind Hakeem swept young Shaq and Orlando.
Yeah, they just did. They ran into a buzzsaw.
Lakers swept the Nets in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Spurs swept Cleveland in 2007.
That was Baby Braun.
That was very Baby Braun. And then
I still can't believe he drug that team to the finals.
Okay, but then 2018, Warriors swept the Cavs.
Yes.
So the Warriors won
and
one.
Was that the...
They won 2, lost 1, then won this one.
Was that the one where Braun led?
No. They won 1, lost, and then won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that 2018 the one where Braun led everyone and everybody said he should be the finals MVP, but on a losing team? Or was that the first time they played each other?
I think that was the year before. 2018, LeBron led in points and assists. Draymond led in rebounds.
Okay.
2017, Kevin Love led in rebounds. 2016, wow, Klay Thompson scored the most points in the playoffs. I guess this is total numbers, not finals numbers. I'm trying to find those right now. But yeah, LeBron was very good in those games.
Yeah,
but Golden State won all those games pretty comfortably by 10, by 19, by 8, and then by 23 in the closeout game. In 2017, Golden State won it 4-1. They won the first 2 at home very, very convincingly. Won by 5 in game 3, lost game 4, 137-116, and then won a tight one in game 5. So, point being, it's very hard to sweep, right? Luka's going to have a game where he goes nuts. PJ Washington's going to hit 5 threes in a game. Maybe Derek Jones Jr. pops onto the scene, something. But it's going to happen, right? Because I don't trust this Boston team enough. Like, they'll lose focus.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the comeback that they let the Hawks have. I mean, Boston's up like 20 midway through the third quarter.
Yeah.
And Atlanta went bombs away. Boston is going to lose focus for a game this series. That's what we know about this team. They're talented enough. They're collected enough. They'll get it together and win the series. Mm-hmm. But I just have a hard time saying they're going to sweep.
My thing is, if Dallas gets one, if they get the first one at home, I have a lot of confidence in them getting the second one and making this series into something crazy. I don't see anything else after that. But if Dallas gets going, if Kyrie gets hot, I find it hard to believe that it's just going to be a one-game thing for Kyrie and Luka to both be hot at the same time. Luka's been on fire, scorching this entire playoffs. Kyrie, if he can start seeing the ball go through the hoop at a rather consistent rate, especially in Dallas with a friendly crowd behind him, I feel like there's going to be it has to be at least a 2-game stretch for him.
Well, see, that's the question. Is it something that Dallas finds and unlocks that they can continue to do against Boston? Is it something structural in Boston's defense that they can't change with a practice or a walkthrough on the fly? Is it something with the personnel that Boston can't change now? Or is it, hey, Dallas has, the 2 players with the best careers on the floor right now. They just take over for a game. Everything was clicking. Boston says, well, that'll happen. We still played all right. If Dallas is going to win a game, it's either going to be a blowout or it's going to be close. I don't see Dallas just winning, each quarter by 5 points on the way to a 20-point win that is, a bigger win than you thought it was during any single quarter. I think Dallas is either going to come out guns a-blazing or Boston's going to fall apart in crunch time for a game, and then they'll get back on track.
How surprised would you be if, and I know we have to go to a break, how surprised would you be if, obviously Luka would be the leading scorer, but your second leading scorer is, role player X who has like 28 points as opposed to Kyrie Irving with 20 or 30? Like, is that going to be, if Kyrie's going to continue playing the way he does, are you going to have a role player explode for something in order for Dallas to get this?
Well, what might have to happen is that Luka's usage percentage is going to have to go up even further than normal. And Kyrie's just going to have to stay off the ball, right? Luka's going to have to play 45 minutes, only rest going into halftime. I get it. That's a guy that needs a break. It's a guy that's dealing with a chest injury and maybe the knee from the last series as well. But this is where, you kind of got to suck it up.
Legends are made.
This is where legends are made. That's right. So, yeah, I do think you're onto something there. I mean, Kyrie will have, 18 plus points in that game that Dallas wins would be my guess. But it's going to be on 10 or fewer shots would be my guess.
Yeah, he's going to have to cut back on the shots. PJ Washington, second leading scorer in this next game. Mark it.
Book it.
I'm going to put the over under at 22.5.
What do you want to put on that?
Crisp high five. I got nothing else for you.
Deal.
That's all I got. But we are going to go to a break. When we come back, the College World Series field is almost set. One more game to go today before we have our 8 at the plate in Omaha. We will also be down there this coming Friday and next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with Blur events at the Blur Tailgate at the Hilton in Omaha, just a couple blocks away from Charles Schwab Field. So come by and see us. But up next, we'll talk a little bit more about the final Super Regional and some of the teams that have already booked their ticket to Omaha.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, deal ends June 14th. Join now, online or at your local PF Club.
See Home Club for details.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Koppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados. Plus, Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville. $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn to ride a motorcycle, how to start a small business, how to dance, or take a course to advance in your current career path. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Alcohol has strained our relationship. Drinking too much can cause harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
You're listening to the Happy Hour.
We were in the middle of our tournament when my friend John said he found a body in the bushes over there.
With Nick Sainert.
I ran over there because I'm a healing monk to try and help, but obviously my magic wasn't strong enough because the dude's body was missing a head.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
So my friend decided to try and use a necromancer spell, which didn't work, which I knew it wouldn't.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
And apparently we contaminated the crime scene because that spell uses a lot of glitter.
I love that rejoin so much.
I bookmarked that on Twitter so I can go back and watch it whenever I have a bad day.
It is a very long rejoin, and Nick wants me to get rid of 402-464-5685 Honda Lincoln hotline, Starter Hammond text line. I need you guys to text in. Is that rejoin too long? Should I get rid of it and listen to Nick, or should I keep it and play it like twice a week because it's hilarious and I love it? Austin, what say you?
402-464-5685. We will let the people decide.
But what
it is not my show. I do not get to say.
You do, because your
it
name
is basically my show.
Your name's on
it.
the ticker. Look,
it
tweet
is.
at Austin_Orman or at Radio Rico AC on
Keep
Twitter /X.
Keep it.
All right, there you go. Riley says keep. 6011 says keep. I freaking love that one so much. That clip is hilarious. Apparently, we contaminated the crime scene because that spell uses a lot of glitter. Oh, goodness. Anyways, speaking of glitter, not really at all. The NCAA Baseball Championship Super Regionals are down to 1. The 10th seeded NC State Wolfpack, 1 seed, 10 seed, whatever, are playing in Game 3 against the 7th seeded Georgia Bulldogs down at Foley Field in Athens, Georgia, for the final spot in the Men's College World Series and the final road to Omaha. Austin,
Rico,
not who do you think will win? Who do you want to win?
So we have a weird College World Series on our hands in that we are only going to see ACC and SEC teams. It's a hegemony.
Oh, yeah, the
point.
Pac-12 is dead.
Pac-12 is dead.
Like officially.
Evansville,
And that makes me
out
so
of
sad.
the Missouri Valley, is dead.
That one broke my heart. I wanted Evans. I
UConn
want
out
Tennessee.
of the Big East is dead. Kansas State out of the Big 12 is dead. So is West Virginia. Oregon, also dead and gone.
Dead and gone.
It doesn't really matter on that front. There's not really a true underdog left in the field. If you want to give Kentucky the nod as the underdog because it's their first time in Omaha, okay, fine. Florida is the 3 seed that made it all the way there. But come on. That's not an underdog. When it comes to NC State and Georgia, I can't say I have a strong preference. It's just what kind of story do you like? For NC State, it's their, I guess, more the feel-good story. I mean, yeah, they were 1 seed. They hosted their regional. Battled with Bryant James Madison, South Carolina to get through it, but made it through. They're doing a really cool thing where all the players that are injured and can't make the trip, because the travel roster gets cut down from 40 to 27 in college baseball.
That's
in
dumb.
the postseason. It is. So all the guys that are injured, not getting brought along on the trips, they're hanging their jerseys in the dugout, which is pretty cool.
What if they pay
But they
their
don't
own...
have it. But they don't have a Charlie Condon.
What if they pay their own way? Can they
can
hang out in the dugout?
Do that. I don't think they can hang out in the dugout though. They just be behind the dugout.
I'd get them all media passes and just make them their media. They're
Okay,
taking pictures.
I have a bone to pick with the NSAA on that.
Ooh.
The NSAA has nothing to do with this, but I'm bringing them into it.
Okay.
So as a freshman, I was the stats keeper for the varsity baseball team. I did the iPad, ran, what was it called? I can picture the software in my head right now. I don't remember what it was called. Either way, I did the iPad, charted pitches, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Did it all year. We get to the state tournament, and I'm not allowed in the dugout. They had someone else who hadn't run the iPad all year have to run it.
Like somebody that wasn't somebody on your team, somebody on that team had to run it. Why weren't you allowed in the dugout?
I don't know. I was just told I'm not allowed in the dugout. So either someone from the NSAA did that, or maybe the coaches just didn't like me and found a way to get rid of me.
They're like, haha.
So like I got there with the team. I walked in with the team, and I remember being told, "Oh, sorry, you can't do this today. You have to go sit in the stands." I'm pretty sure it was the NSAA.
You should have taken the iPad with you and just done it from the stands.
I should have, except they really needed it, apparently. So maybe someone just wanted to play Candy Crush during the game. Who's to say?
Ridiculous.
But they went 0-2 without me in the dugout.
See?
So I'm
That's
not saying, I'm just saying.
That was their first problem. Okay,
Which, let me just say on Georgia.
Yes.
NC State does not have a Charlie Condon.
No.
That dude is nuts. Like on a different planet. Him and Bazana are probably the 2 best second basemen in the country. Weatherholt has been playing some second base. But holy smokes, I am a Charlie Condon guy.
For people who don't know, Charlie Condon, again, second baseman for Georgia, a 436 average. No, I'm not reading that wrong.
I guess he's a third baseman, but he's played around. Yeah.
A 436 average to go along with 36 home runs. Again, I'm not reading that wrong. 36 home runs and 77 RBIs. Charlie Condon needs to be in Omaha.
There was an ESPN story about him. Just got updated a month and a half, 2 months ago, give or take. Charlie Condon had only been recruited by Rhodes College and University of the South.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes. Rhodes College, D3 college in Memphis, and University of the South in Sewanee, Tennessee.
That doesn't sound like a university. That
doesn't sound real.
Yeah.
Probably does not exist. He had preferred walk-on
University of the South. Yeah, that's how you have to say it.
Just like that. Had a preferred walk-on spot available at Tennessee. ESPN story says it just didn't pan out. So he was going to go be the quarterback at one of those 2 schools and also play baseball. But then one of Georgia's coach's friends said, hey, here's the 6'5" guy. You might want to take a look at him.
Hey.
So then he Stetson Bennetted his way through college baseball.
Perfect. The perfect story. Charlie Condon in Georgia.
So, yeah, I guess I would prefer to see Charlie Condon in action because having seen Jack Caglianone, live and in person in Stillwater,
both of them,
that was one thing. Those dudes just move different, right? Like you go to MLB baseball games, you go to the Storm Chasers and you see it. But to see a guy like Condon, a guy like Caglianone, who is a surefire top 10 pick, if not even like top 5, to see just how differently they move and operate than other good college players on the field, I would probably want to see Charlie Condon up close and personal.
Charlie Condon for Georgia. That is Georgia, the team that Austin wants to win today. Just reminded on the text line, thank you, 7611. NC State got hosed by 2021 by COVID restrictions. Would love to see them win it.
That's right.
I forgot about that.
That's right.
And I still want Georgia, but I feel bad for NC State.
And that was to send Vandy there. See, that's
Yeah.
the word. If anyone but Vandy, right?
Damn. Thanks, Texter. I completely forgot about NC State and 2021 COVID restrictions.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because they were down to like 11 people.
I'm trying to reread the article here.
There was
real
more
quick.
than that, but they were down to barely anybody on their roster because somebody had tested positive for COVID and they had to keep people in the hotel and they had to stay in their rooms. They couldn't go to the games.
So according to College World Series protocol, every player who was unvaccinated had to undergo testing every other day. Tuesday, so NC State beat Vandy 1-0 on Monday. Tuesday they tested. One player on NC State tested positive. They're gone.
Done. Because he's around all of them. So they just couldn't play.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Forgot about
then
that.
they made it all the way to Friday. And then the player that was under quarantine tested positive. 2 other players were showing symptoms.
Gone.
They're out.
Damn.
Yeah.
Still want Georgia. I feel bad for NC State. But Georgia, again, who we want to be at the Men's College World Series. And it's okay. It's okay. We can do that.
We can look at other sports too, though. I mean, Georgia already has it good enough with football.
Exactly. What does
NC State is the redheaded stepchild of Tobacco Road, and I can never root for them.
how do you feel? Do you not like NC State, or are they just forgotten?
Principle. Like they're annoying. They're a mosquito, is what they are.
I like
they're
NC
not.
State.
I would like to like NC State, but I like them more as the lovable little under puppy, more so than like, hey, we just beat you to go to the Final Four. Which was completely a Duke problem, not an NC State thing. I get annoyed with NC State more than I get mad at them. And every time Duke goes to Raleigh, I just in my head think, okay, they're going to play the game of their season and beat them.
Yeah, that's usually what happens there. No, so I when realignment was happening, right, and we were talking about who's going to do what and what teams are going where, and we were talking about ACC teams going to the Big Ten. And everybody's like, what team would you want in the Big Ten? I said NC State and got a lot of weird looks. So I was like, I don't know. They just seem, out of the ACC teams, they seem the most Big Ten to me in all of the sports that they have.
Out of the ACC?
Yeah.
No,
I don't know why.
no,
but that's the
no,
team for me that if an ACC team had to join the Big Ten, it would be NC State.
So NC State football right now is very much like Iowa. Defense dominated, not a lot of offense. So they're perfect for the 11 a.m. like ESPN2 game.
Boom.
And that's about it.
Big Ten.
Virginia is more Big Ten.
No.
Carolina is more Big Ten.
No.
Duke is more Big Ten.
In terms of academics, maybe.
Attitude, approach. Wake Forest might be more Big Ten.
Sports-wise, yeah, but you want a good team. You don't want another doormat. You want a decent, and then you
understand who Wake Forest is right now,
football,
right?
NC State football is better than Duke football. Their basketball team is decent enough that they would help the Big Ten. And that's all I got. That's it. That's all I was looking at.
Their baseball team's fine.
Their baseball team is good, which doesn't fit in the Big Ten, but it's good, but it's fine.
Would be nice to have.
It'd be nice to have. So the rest of the teams in the Men's College World Series that are making the trip to Omaha, Tennessee, the 1 seed, takes care of Evansville in 3 games. I was really hoping Evansville, the Purple Aces, could get it done. They win game 2, 10-8, but fall 11-6 in game 1 and 12-1 in game 3 as the number 1 seeded Volunteers make it to Omaha. In Tallahassee, Florida State sweeps UConn 2-0, 24, which is a super regional record for the amount of runs scored. They beat UConn 24-4 in game 1, and then have to go to extra innings and win 10-8 in 12 innings against UConn to book their ticket to the Men's College World Series. Virginia takes care of Kansas State. I forgot Virginia was even playing. Virginia takes care of Kansas State 7-4, 10-4, 2 games. North Carolina beats West Virginia, a close one in game 2 as they win 2-1 to book their trip. And then Kentucky, for the first time ever, headed to Omaha as the 2 seed. They blank Oregon State 10-0 and 3-2 in game 2, and the Pac-12 is officially dead.
The old me's dead and gone, dead and gone.
That makes me so sad.
It is. It's a bummer. Oregon State playing an indie ball schedule, though. They're going independent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Love it.
That is probably the only program left at those universities that could afford to go independent.
Oregon State, Washington State?
Yeah.
Washington State's going to join like the Mountain West or something.
They did for a lot of sports.
Good.
That already happened, Rico.
Good.
Catch up, man.
I haven't been paying attention to those 2 schools, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. Florida. Does this make you feel better about Nebraska losing to Florida both times at the regional in Oklahoma State, that Florida is now coming to Omaha after going to the Clemson Super Regional and beating the Tigers 10-7 and then 11-10?
Yes and no. On the one hand, yes, because, hey, if there's some team of destiny playing their baseball at the right time, well, hey, Nebraska was just, the first
You're
one.
just in the way.
Right. It's probably less bad for Nebraska to get beat at a neutral site than it is for Florida to go kick Clemson's butt like they did in Clemson. But the flip side of that is it pisses me off. Like, why is it never Nebraska's chance and Nebraska's turn to play their best baseball at the right time? Why is Nebraska never the underdog pulling these upsets? And I get it. Florida, like I said, not a true underdog. They had a bad record playing the SEC. They're talented. They look different. They move different. I get all of that.
Series last
but also, how Nebraska to draw a team that's going to get hot or use you to get hot, right? So, on the one hand, yeah, I get it. On the other hand, I'm just done with it. I'm sick and tired of it.
It does not make me feel. It makes me feel worse because if Florida could beat Clemson 2-0, could Nebraska have beaten Clemson 2-0 or 2-1?
I'm just saying,
Nebraska
I would love to have
Nebraska could have done it, right?
I would just love to have the chance. That's all I'm asking.
It makes me feel worse.
I'm not even asking to win. I'm just asking to have the chance.
It's not one of those situations where it's, the team you lost to won the national championship. You were, you just lost to the eventual national champion. That's not that. No, it still sucks.
Still blows.
Still sucks. Not great. The College Station Super Regional, Texas A&M beats Oregon 10-6, 15-9, again to kill the Pac-12. And Texas A&M will be in Omaha. Will anybody in Nebraska... Actually, let me rephrase this. How hard will Nebraska fans be rooting against Texas A&M while they are in Omaha?
Very hard. Trev Alberts absolutely shows up, right? You don't.
100%.
You don't not show up to the College World Series.
Oh, he's 100% there to the city where he was an athletic director for the university in the city, and then the state where he was the athletic director for the biggest show in the state. He's 100% showing up.
Okay. Do we need to go to break? We can go back through who Nebraska fans are rooting against the most, or is that later in the week?
No, we can. Well, we'll do that a little bit here, and we'll obviously going to do that later in the week as well. We'll bring in Stricky. I think he might be streaming in. Or is he coming in?
He's coming in.
All right, so Stricky will come in. We'll talk a little bit about that. And if Stricky is here on time, little Caitlin Clark potentially getting, not potentially, but was Caitlin Clark snubbed for an Olympic spot for a roster on the Olympic women's basketball roster? I don't think so. We'll get to that and more on the Happy Hour coming up next.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Husker fans, the 2024 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and they need your support in Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $170. This plan includes tickets to the UTEP or Northern Iowa, plus Illinois or Rutgers, and either UCLA or Wisconsin games. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see a lot of sunshine with light winds. An afternoon high around 84. Tonight, probably cloudy skies with a low around 63. And tomorrow, we'll see a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, probably sunny with a high around 90. I'm meteorologist Kyle Cook for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Hey kids, what are you getting your ever-loving dad for Father's Day?
I know, a motorized monster truck. How about the new Taylor Swift album? You would love it.
Yeah, I'm sure. How about something from Osted's Golf? Name brand apparel up to 50% off. Strixon balls at crazy deals. And Dad's always love an Osted's gift card.
You have been putting a lot of balls in the water.
Not after my custom fitting. I'm smashing everything.
You're good at that with a monster truck.
Stop Osted's Golf for Father's Day.
The Osted family would really appreciate it.
Network Partners in Lincoln reminds us throughout the history of our country, our armed forces have risked their lives to protect our freedom. They and their families have sacrificed so we can live in peace, and not just us, but our children and grandchildren as well. Let's thank our troops and veterans and keep them in our prayers. May our troops be safe and may God bless America. This from Network Partners in Lincoln. We live in the land of the free, thanks to the brave.
Do you need your event or venue secured? Call Tank Security Team. Tank Security Team is Lincoln's #1 non-lethal security company. Tank Security Team offers first-class security with efficient and quicker response times. Hire Tank Security Team. No hassle, no headaches. Call Tank at 402-310-3589 and get secured today.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Ready to upgrade your combine in 2024? The team at Landmark Implement is here to help find the right combine to fit your operations needs. Choose from 4.75% for up to 60 months or a 12-month interest waiver, followed by John Deere financial rates with approved credit through the end of June. When you purchase a pre-owned S or X combine from Landmark, know you are backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running. View our current inventory online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark to experience the Landmark difference.
Electrical Enterprises in Roca reminds you, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment and courage keep our country safe and strong. Let us honor those who have lost their lives in the line of duty and salute those serving today. This from Electrical Enterprises in Roca. For all your residential and commercial electrical construction needs, call 402-438-5822. We live in the land of the free, thanks to the brave.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey, Nebraska! Register today for the 40th annual Cornhusker State Games, taking place July 11th through the 21st in Lincoln, Omaha, and other Nebraska communities. The Cornhusker State Games features 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. Price increases are approaching, so register early and save. For details, go to CornhuskerStateGames.com. Advocating for physicians in the health of all Nebraskans, Nebraska Medical Association, a proud platinum partner of the Cornhusker State Games.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
When I gave you the cookie, I heard very clearly, I don't think about you, Schmidt.
Why would I think about you?
Because we're friends. We're not animals.
We're men. The only time a man is allowed to think about another man is when that man is Jay Cutler.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, Chris Crossover, as we are joined by the one, the only, the Celtic and the Mav, Eric Strickland.
What up, man?
How you doing?
Good. I had to talk to one of the Dallas radio stations today, and for that exact reason.
Yeah, you're having a tough finals. Not really, but kind of.
Not really.
Based on the
happy
team that
both ways.
not based on the team that you were rooting for more heavily.
Yeah.
Did the Dallas radio station know that you were rooting more for Dallas than you were for Boston?
No.
Have they checked your socials and did they see that?
Probably not.
Dallas in 6 is still alive, Stricky.
Yeah, it's still alive.
Should I get in contact with a Boston radio station and be like, hey, Eric Strickland said he wants to talk?
You could. Yeah.
Get you on the Boston radio station.
Yeah, I get out there.
Like, hey, I know a guy who
have
played
a
for
little
both.
conversation.
Who is your coach in Boston again?
Jim O'Brien.
O'Brien, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't know where Jimmy is now. Wonder. Yeah, Jim was good, man. He was cool. He was a cool dude, man. He got it. I don't even think he had a job after that one, after he left the Celtics.
Let's see. He is currently senior advisor for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, okay.
Coached the 76ers for 04-05 and then the Pacers from 2007 to 2011.
Head coach?
Yeah.
Huh.
Apparently.
2000 what to what?
Oh, he was a Mavs assistant in 12-13.
Uh-oh.
And then a Sixers assistant 16 to 19.
Well, Jim's been just making his way around the circuit.
Just
man.
hanging out.
Yeah, good for him.
He started with the Knicks in the NBA, Rico.
New York, baby.
Mm-hmm.
He coached at Kentucky, too, though.
He has, yes. He was with Kentucky 94 to 97.
Yep.
New York,
He's
Boston,
the reason
Dallas.
why we lost. I'm not going to say that. You know,
But
he made a choice. He made an executive decision.
And that decision was...
to go with Tony Delk instead of letting me handle Jason Kidd.
Tragic.
It's one of those things. You make a decision, you make a decision. I mean, I understand Tony, you know, he was a shooter and maybe he was thinking he was going to be able to give him the offensive stuff that we needed, but yeah, we couldn't stop him.
Speaking of not being able to be stopped, except for when roster decisions are made, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. Got the snub.
Snubbed, you could say,
Yeah.
from the women's Olympic team, as she does not make the 5-on-5 roster or the 3v3 roster for that matter. Caitlin Clark not on either Olympic team. Some people saying she was snubbed. Some people saying it's I don't even remember the word that they were using. I don't remember, but they're saying that it's going to be bad for the ratings for the women's Olympic team. And if they had Caitlin Clark, they'd be on the major night. Like, they're not going to be on NBC regardless because it's the Olympics. And yeah, sure, I guess more people would have watched. But the thing is, they're going to win regardless, whether she's on the team or not. And also, the guards that are in front of her are just better than she is this year. Oh, and also, by the way, this is another thing that I want to. She hasn't had a break. She went straight from playing in the Final Four in the championship to maybe a week off to getting drafted to 2 weeks of preparation, media, photo shoots, everything to the season starting.
Yeah. I would understand. This is a multi-pronged, not an easy answer. But one, that's a great point because she needs to rest because it's been like a
circus,
like a tsunami that is like hit her life in such a short period of time.
She's been playing basketball nonstop since November.
She hasn't been able to recover. She hasn't been able to get in a gym to work out, that's what you need, that off time to kind of replenish your body, get stronger. She hasn't had the opportunity. I can say personally how frustrated and how mentally how hard it was mentally for me whenever I would come home from baseball to go into basketball.
Just right away.
Yeah. Like, and you know, you're playing every day. You're hoping just for that break, and you don't really, because you're playing all summer. Now you got to go to school, and the weather's lovely, and you haven't had a break.
Yep.
So probation is lining up.
You're just there
because I'm like, not going to class today. You know, it's kind of one of those things. I would just want to sit at home and not do a dang thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I could understand that part. Two, I think based on what I'm hearing with a lot of the WNBA and a lot of the people, the firestorm that's going on Twitter, the other part of it is you want and this is what I was saying on the man side, you want to use these platforms as a place to build your fan base, right? Not having her there, you know, all the excuses that they're making. You've had Diana Taurasi, you've had on the men's side, it happens all the time. I think what was it, Leitner, and then
they brought AD fresh out of college.
There was one more.
I
want to say he's from Kentucky. Or Duke. Oh gosh.
Do you remember how long ago?
Guy. It was not too long ago. I think I want to say 6, 8, something like that, maybe 11, 12. I don't know. But anyway,
yeah,
it's happened. So that excuse is terrible. But now they're talking about boycott. Oh, that's not the thing you want to hear.
No, and that's the tough part, is because Caitlin Clark's fan base is so large that, yes, it would have been wonderful to have her on the team, to have more eyeballs from, again, just her fan base alone, to have more eyeballs on the women's Olympic team. But to boycott Team USA for not having a single person on that team when, A, that person is struggling with the physicality in the WNBA right now, and the other countries are going to be just as physical, if not more, with her. B, she's not going to start and would have gotten very limited minutes if she would have made the team regardless.
Yep.
And C, she hasn't had a break. If you want her to be the face of the WNBA, if she is the face of the WNBA, she's going to need time to rest. And if she goes into this, God forbid she made the team, went to the Olympics, and got injured in Paris, and was unable to play the next season of the WNBA. Like, she needs some time to collect herself, because it has been a media circus surrounding her from, you know, last year, her junior year at Iowa, when she exploded on the scene. Yes, she was putting up the same numbers, but she explodes on the scene her junior year, gets Iowa to the championship game. And then she gets Iowa to the championship game again the next year with an even bigger media circus, gets drafted #1 overall, has to go through all of this. Is the WNBA ready for her? Is she ready for the WNBA? Has to deal with the physicality in the WNBA, getting beat up night after night. Oh, do these players hate you? Does the entire league hate you? This and that and all of that media thing. And on top of that, trying to find her way in the W, where she's been struggling a little bit. She only had 3 points against the New York Liberty, bounces back with a 30-point effort against the Washington Mystics, who don't have a win. So I don't know if you can, obviously they're still professionals, but the worst team in the league. So it's tough for her right now. And the guards that made it over Caitlin Clark are just better than she is right now.
It will be very funny if Team USA does actually lose, and that becomes the story. Okay, Caitlin would have made a difference if they shoot poorly from 3 and lose, have a lot of turnovers or whatever and lose.
Well, she's like leading the league in turnovers right now.
Right, but whatever. Let's say if they lose in a way that people can make the argument that Caitlin Clark would have made a difference, right? Then it's going to be really funny. If Team USA is still so far ahead of the rest of the world in women's basketball, to me, that is the perfect opportunity to work her in to the roster. Right. Even if she's not going to play, you get eyeballs because what if, just in case, if she plays the last 6 minutes of a game and she pulls up from 30, right? People would tune in to see that. But we know there's not a single dynasty in sports that has lasted forever. The New York Yankees didn't last forever. They went through a downturn. The Patriots haven't lasted forever, right? The Spurs haven't lasted forever. The 90s Braves didn't last forever, right? 90s Huskers didn't last forever. We know dynasties don't last. There comes a time when teams get got. Think about, even the USA men's team. Europe sprang up and got him. What'd they do? Quick, send our best, start dominating again. Fell out of the FIBA #1 rankings. It's going to happen to the USA women's team.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get Caitlin Clark that experience, essentially give her a vacation to Paris, she can walk through, she can practice a little bit if she doesn't play games, whatever. Get her the experience of being overseas, of dealing with the media attention, get her in that environment ready to go for the next cycle. So she can be the leader of the teams for the years to come, to some degree.
But with that would be what the world team in 2 years is for, right? Because right now, this Olympic team, yes, it would be great to have her on there. And yes, the USA is so much better than everybody else that they could do that. But who are you taking? And I mean this with the utmost respect to Caitlin Clark's game. Who are you taking off of this spot, off of this roster at the guard position for essentially a sideshow of if Caitlin Clark gets in the game and hits a 30-footer? Of if Caitlin Clark gets in and throws a dime pass to somebody underneath the hoop for something fantastic. Like that.
What you needed to do is
I don't think that there is all of the guards right now on this Team USA team are more than willing.
They used to say that too back then, right? With the Leitners and why you leave, why is he on the team, or they used to do that, and so that's but that's understandable. But you also got to think about like the fact, like I think I would look more in that situation, right? But I get you. I get what you're saying too. Like you're absolutely right.
So like use it as a marketing.
Yeah, what needed to happen was Team USA needed to win Worlds with Diana Taurasi on the roster, and she said, "Hey, it's been a long time. I'm done with Team USA. I'll play down the WNBA.
Yeah,
leave a spot open because at this point it would have been late 22, early 23 for Worlds. Caitlin Clark's coming. You can make that handoff. You can make that transition. I get it. She's a legend. She gets to step away on her own terms. She deserves that.
That is a tough one for me,
She's
having a 41-year-old.
About to be her 6th Olympic cycle, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want to discount that. But if you wanted to handle it politically and smoothly, you
But she doesn't like her. That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Diana Taurasi thinks that she was Caitlin Clark,
before,
but didn't get right.
Yeah.
And didn't get that.
And that's tough. And that I agree with that. It's tough to have a 41-year-old Diana Taurasi on the roster, but with the things that she's done for Team USA and the way, everything about that, you want to say, oh, well, she deserves this spot because she's, the leader of the team. She has obviously the most experience out of anybody on the team in dealing with this Olympic run and what they're going to have to deal with. But I feel like you would have enough experience with everyone else that you wouldn't have to worry about having a 5-time Olympian on your roster. But again, it'd be tough. If she says she wants to play, there's really no way you can say, no, actually, we're not going to take the 5-time Olympian. We're going to take this rookie who is, never been to the Olympics and all of this. Like that's a tough one. That's a tough pill to swallow. But that would be the one spot that I would say Caitlin could have taken, because the other guard spots, you look at Kalia Cooper, who is 3rd in the league in scoring, Chelsea Gray, who's the best point guard in the world, Sabrina Ionescu, who everybody knows what she's able to do and what she did at Oregon and what she's doing in New York. Jewel Lloyd is lighting the world up. Kelsey Plum, again, one of the better guards in the world. And then Jackie Young for the Las Vegas Aces, also, again, one of the better teams and has that 3v3 experience in the Olympics back in 2020. All of these guards are at the top of their game right now, and it'll be Caitlin's turn in 4 years, and she'll be the leader. She'll be the star. Well, I don't know if she'll be the leader, but she'll be the star of that Olympic team. And it'll be a 4 years of buildup to, playing the Olympics in Los Angeles. So you get that. Imagine that marketing as opposed to, it's still, marketing and Olympics going to Paris, but playing the Olympics on home soil and having Caitlin Clark will then have 5 years of, hopefully an explosion in the WNBA and leading the league.
I just have a question. Would any of you guys go to the Olympics in LA?
You got connections? You hook me up?
I don't have the cashola to go to the Olympics in LA because I can't imagine how expensive LA is now.
Listen, okay. Just living in LA, how crazy it is to maneuver in LA. As you said, expensive. Like the place I used to have when I lived in LA, it was a place behind. So if you can imagine, you have the Getty Center that sits on the hill, right? On the left side of the hill is Brentwood. We all know what happened in Brentwood. You have Westwood across the highway, and then on this side you have what they call Mountain Gate. So Getty Center. Across is where they have Mulholland, where Kevin Hart crashed and all that.
Yep.
Is just on the other side of the highway. Okay.
There's something about that in Free Fallin'.
Huh?
You're so dumb.
Continue.
You're so dumb.
So I had a place, and it was a 2-bedroom condo, townhouse. Beautiful. Back then in the 2000s, it was $6,500 a month.
Sheesh.
Yeah, no. I would love to
Think
go
of what it is now.
I would love to go to the Olympics in LA.
gosh.
No.
Think of what it is now.
Disgusting.
It's only gotten worse. So for me, one, navigating LA in itself is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's no public transportation, and it doesn't matter where you stay. You're going to have to go somewhere to deal with Olympic stuff.
How many athletes are going to be late to their events because of the traffic in LA?
Like, that's the part, like, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's nowhere you can go and stay. Like, I don't care if you go and stay in Beverly Hills, in Westwood. You can stay in Bel Air. I don't care where you stay.
Mm-hmm.
By the airport, it doesn't matter. You're going to be stuck. Because it's not anywhere easy to navigate.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get a taste of that with the World Cup coming to the United States.
Oh, shoot. There's certain cities that I think can handle it.
LA, not one of them.
But I don't think LA's one. I mean, yeah. And it's wild, and they wilding down there anyway. So you know,
All right,
we
gentlemen.
off of it.
What's coming up on your guys' show?
It will be a fun show. Hour 2, we will have Brian Munson. A lot going on in Husker football recruiting. That'll be 3:30. Dan Hurley officially turns down the Lakers. That say more about UConn or the Lakers. Celtics Mavs headlines through 2 games. And then only 2 conferences will be represented up in Omaha. ACC and the SEC. Is that a bigger problem in college baseball or college football?
It's coming. It's both. It's coming.
Interesting.
That's just a prelude of what's going to look like.
Soon it'll be the Big Ten in the SEC. Just wait for it. All right, that's going to do it for the happy hour. Thank you all for tuning in. Nick will be back tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see if there's another charity golf thing that's going on. No, but seriously, doing some great things out there. So that's it for the happy hour on the block. Austin Strick coming up next. 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Adios.
Hey kids, what are you getting your ever-loving dad for Father's Day?
I know, a motorized monster truck. How about the new Taylor Swift album? You would love it.
Yeah, I'm sure. How about something from Osted's Golf? Name brand apparel up to 50% off. Strixon